media, all media houses are allowed to access the court and report. They know the law, they know how to report, and for what they are reporting. No way to close or to block any media house that is coming or any other interested citizen. So this must be
case of
clear.
A ceasefire violation.
Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, this is iRadio News, but first here are the headlines. The defense team representing Dr. Riek Machar and his co-accused has urged that Nasser incident constitutes a violation of ceasefire agreement and should fall under the jurisdiction of the ceasefire monitoring mechanism. The judge proceeding over the trial of suspended first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar and 7 co-accused has retreated his call for access to public and the media. The Vice President and Chair of the Service Cluster has retreated the government's commitment to fully implementing the 2018 Revitalized Peace Agreement while speaking on sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. These stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Diko Andrew, and now the news in details. The defense team representing Dr. Riek Machar and his co-accused has urged that Nasser incident constitutes a violation of the ceasefire agreement and should fall under the jurisdiction of ceasefire monitoring mechanism. According to Gary Raimondo, the lead defense lawyer, the special court established to preside over this case has no jurisdiction. He said the Nasser incident is violation of the 2018 Revitalized Peace Agreement and should be investigated by the ceasefire and transitional security arrangement monitoring and verification mechanism. Gary made the argument during the second session in Juba this morning, and he happened to be saying this.
Nasser incident is a case of a ceasefire violation, clashes of two forces. As such, the agreement, revitalized agreement, provides for mechanism for resolution of ceasefire violation through the city SAM to investigate and report to RJMEC and IGAD, Council of Ministers, then RJMEC to report to the IGAD, and IGAD will recommend the way forward.
According to the Revitalized Peace Agreement, the CTSM VM is responsible for monitoring, verification, compliance and reporting on the progress of the permanent ceasefire and transitional security arrangement. Gary added the formation of the special court to try Dr. Riek Machar contravenes and transitional constitution and suggested that the court first establish the jurisdiction before proceeding with the case. In response, presiding Judge James Alala adjourned the session until tomorrow, stating that the court will hold a session to consider the matter raised.
We are going to put up the session so that we are able to look into the application raised by the defense. The session tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.
The judge presiding over the trial of suspended first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar and 7 co-accused has reiterated his call for access to the public and the media. On Monday, journalists including iRadio reporters who arrived to cover the opening of the high-profile trial were denied access to the courtroom, a restriction that was again enforced today. During today's session before adjourning the hearing to the following day, presiding Judge James Alala reiterated his earlier statement that the trial is open to both media and general public. He says this is a mandate by the law.
Before going to decide on the matters that you have raised, we would like to inform the audience that the court is open for public. And I mentioned this yesterday, that in our laws, public hearing means citizens are allowed to access court. Media, all media houses are allowed to access the court and report. They know the law, they know how to report, and for what they are reporting. No way to close or to block any media house that is coming or any other interested citizen. So this must be clear.
Elsewhere, the Vice President and Chair of the Service Cluster has reiterated the government's commitment to fully implementing the 2018 Revitalized Peace Agreement while speaking on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Last week, Vice President Josephine Lagu led a government delegation to the UN General Assembly where she met with the Norwegian Minister of International Development. During the meeting, Vice President Josephine Joseph provided an update on the current political situation in South Sudan and reformed the unity government dedication of delivering on the peace deal. She said that the agreement is external for achieving lasting stability in the country. Meanwhile, the Vice President expressed appreciation for Norway's continued support and called on the Nordic nation to sustain its partnership, particularly in delivering critical humanitarian aid to the people of South Sudan. She stressed the importance of ensuring safe and secure access for humanitarian workers across the country. Vice President Josephine further appealed to the international community to stand in solidarity with the government and the people of South Sudan, urging understanding of the practical challenges the country currently facing. The meeting was also attended by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, along with South Sudan Permanent Representative to the United Nations. Elsewhere, authorities in Abyei have launched a weekly awareness campaign aimed at combating drug and substance abuse among young people in the area. According to Johanna Kwolngor, the Abyei Minister of Information and Communication, the campaign focuses on educating the public about the danger of drug abuse and far-reaching effects on individuals and the broader community. Minister Kwol urged local communities to join effort in fight against substance abuse, citing the serious consequences is possessed to public health, education, economic development, and community security. Happen to be saying this.
المخدرات عنده اثر سلبي جدا في المجتمع بتاعنا وهو الزول اللي بيناول المخدرات بيسبب له خلل ذهني التفكير بتاعه ما بيكون تفكير سليم صحته ما بيكون عنده عافيه للصحه وعنده تاثير في التنميه عنده تاثير في المدارس عنده تاثير في كل مناحي اداره الحياه في الدوله واذا كان المخدرات انا بتكلم على المستوى بتاع الدوله بتكلم على المستوى بتاع العالم كله ده التاثير بتاعه على الناس كله. إذا دارين نقول والمعالجات بالنسبة للمخدرات في أبيي لازم كلنا كفئات بتاعت المجتمع نرجع نراجع نفسنا.
Akwol expressed appreciation for the continued engagement of participants in the reform of emphasizing the need for collective action. Meanwhile, Major General James Simon, Director of Abyei Community Policing, outlined the most commonly abused substance in the region.
كوكايين وفسمون معروف الديكو إن الحاجة اسمه مسافلين هي برضه مؤثر للأعصاب إن الكافيين إننا حلوين إننا مورفين والمورفين ده في استخدامه الزوج مورفين إن الطب بيستخدموه عشان إنه في العمليات الكبيرة أو الإشراف على الطبيب. قبل شهور كنا عملنا هنا في أبيات السنة دي عملنا حملة بتاع.
Lastly, an education official has called on parents and guardians to enroll their deaf children in school, saying they have the right to learn like any other child. Ben Lowe, the National Director of Inclusive Education at the Ministry of General Education and Instruction, said children with hearing impairment must be sent to school to acquire education and build their future. Lowe met the call as South Sudan joined the rest of the world to mark the International Day of Sign Languages. The United Nations General Assembly on December 9th 19th, 2017, proclaimed 23rd of December of September as the International Day of Sign Languages to raise awareness on the importance of sign languages in the full realization of the rights of deaf people. According to the UN, all people are entitled to human rights from birth, and deaf people. Sign language is fundamental for the full enjoyment of those rights under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Educationist Low spoke on the program today, and he happened to be saying this.
It is important that the parents understand that their children with hearing impairment, and even those without, those who are having different category, they have different disabilities, do enroll in schools. And so for those with hearing impairment, we encourage the parents to send them to school so that they may be able to learn with the rest of the other children. It is their right to go to school and acquire knowledge just like other children in our country.
Lily Rico, a disability inclusion specialist with Girls Education South Sudan, also called on parents to prioritize education for their deaf children. She further urged teachers to be mindful of deaf learners during lessons.
We know that we have 416 learners who are having difficulty or cannot hear at all. They are deaf learners, so they require sign language. It's a big number, and some are still out. We're encouraging that all the public and the communities to send their learners to school or their children to school, even though they cannot hear. Just send them to school, and then we ensure that they also have a quality education. As we are campaigning, or we are pushing for sign language training across the country, we are also encouraging that even the learner who is already in class, the teachers, while teaching them, should face, because some of them are reading the lips, so the teachers should face the learners while they are teaching, not only facing the blackboard. So these learners, we also encourage that they sit in front.
This year, International Day of Sign Languages is being marked under the theme, No Human Rights Without Sign Language a Right. With that being, we came to an end with our local news. Let's go and listen to my colleague Magdalena Jamis with international news.
Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger have announced that they will immediately withdraw from the
للقضايا بشكل عالمنا. ده زمن الأخبار العالمية بيجيكم برعاية شركة بريستيج ميلرز المحدودة.
Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger have announced that they will immediately withdraw from the International Criminal Court ICC, labeling it an instrument of neo-colonialist repression. The three military-led government issued a joint statement saying that they would not recognize the authority of the UN-backed court based in The Hague. The court has not yet responded to the decision by the three countries, all of which with close ties to Russia, whose leader Vladimir Putin has been subject to an ICC arrest warrant. Elsewhere, Malawi's former President Peter Mutharika has taken a comfortable lead in the country's presidential race, with the two-thirds of districts having reported provisional results. The 85-year-old has received around 66% of valid votes counted so far, with his closest rival, the incumbent Lazarus Chakwera, 70, trailing on around 24%. Results declared so far indicate that Mutharika has won in areas known to be Chakwera's strongholds, including the capital Lulongwe and Hautakuta. But Chakwera's camp remain hopeful that once results are declared from other areas, his vote will increase, forcing a runoff. And finally, Egypt Prime Minister Mustafa Mubedli said that the country will host an international conference to raise a fund for the reconstruction of Gaza as soon as a ceasefire is reached. Mustafa said the conference aimed to mobilize the necessary funding to ensure that the Palestinian people remain on their land and overcome the huge losses caused by Israeli aggression. The minister called on the international community to contribute to the reconstruction's effort.
That was international news. We thank our proud sponsors, Prestige Miller Limited, for bringing you the bulletin. Stay tuned for more stories right here on iRadio.
And thank you so much, Madam James. Up next, the news in sport with Moses Darlington.
Thank you so much, Diko Andrew. Starting with home, South Sudan women's under-20 set for crucial clash against Malawi in World Cup qualifiers. The South Sudan women's under-20 national team will take a major step into uncharted territory this afternoon, where they will be facing Malawi in the second round of the African FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifiers at Juba National Stadium. The kick-off is set for 3 p.m. with a return leg scheduled at the same venue 3 days later. Paris Saint-Germain's Ousmane Dembele won his first Ballon d'Or as the French treble winners came away with several of the key men's awards at the Paris ceremony. The 28-year-old French forward scored 35 goals and made 14 assists in the 53 matches for PSG last season as they won the Champions League, Ligue 1 title and the French Cup. He was the joint top scorer in Ligue 1 with 21 goals and named the French top flight and Champions League Player of the Year. And he was also helped alongside his teammate to push PSG to the Club World Cup final, where they lost to Chelsea in New Jersey. Great Britain and Northern Ireland failed to win a gold medal at the World Athletics Championships for the first time since 22 years ago, and they secured their joint lowest overall return since 2005. Great Britain ended the 9-day competitions with a total of 5 medals, level with their 2019 tally in Doha, while they last won fewer 20 years ago in Helsinki, where they finished with 3. Great Britain head coach Paula Doon told BBC Sport that the aim for Tokyo was to win 5 to 8 medals, but no target was set for a medal table finished. This is all in the world of sport, and back to you, Diko Andrew.
Thank you so much, Darlington Moses. With that being, we came to an end with our local, international and sport news, but let's remind ourselves with the headlines. The defense team representing Dr. Riek Machar and his co-accused has argued that Nasser incident constitutes a violation of a ceasefire agreement and should fall under the jurisdiction of the ceasefire monitoring mechanism. The judge presiding over the trial of suspended first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar and 7 co-accused has reiterated his call for access to the public and the media. The Vice President and the Chair of the Service Cluster has reiterated the government's commitment to fully implementing the 2018 revitalized peace agreement while speaking on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. That's the end of iRadio News. If there's any story or event you would like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message on +211 925 287 870. It's also on our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page, iRadio, subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for news in Arabic at 1:30. I'm Diko Andrew. Thank you for listening.
Before going to decide